Before we get started, we've got something to mention. The Berthon International YouTube channel is a big part of how we represent our fleet. It's updated regularly with walkthroughs, sea trials and conversations with interesting people from across our industry. It's a straightforward way to get a proper feel for the yachts we have for sale, wherever you are, and to shortlist before stepping on board. It gives you a proper sense of the boats without ever having to be there in person. You can find it by searching Berthon International on YouTube. We'll leave it there. Thanks for listening.
Right, so so top 7 sale insights for April 26. No, well,
I've done one before.
We've already done one. We're hardened
old hands.
professionals. No, I think we've done one actually, to be fair.
Right, look, you've got to sit and be quiet and not jump all over everyone, okay? If you're going to be sitting here.
Is this recording or not?
Go on, in the sun.
It is recording. Oh dear, can you wipe all that? He's just got us over a barrel.
Got Ben telling Alan not to sit on his lap.
Yeah.
Stop licking me.
There's some laughs there you can cut in later.
Can you take the dog away with you as well?
No, just leave him in here because otherwise he'll go off and kill someone.
Right, it's Ben and Alan here. We're going to do the our first Insights podcast. So we're both looking at each other, scratching our heads a bit about.
So yeah, these are our monthly sales insights, and this information is largely garnered from our team talks that we have on Teams with all our colleagues from around the planet, Sweden, Newport, Rhode Island, Palma, and so on. And we have a little powwow every couple of weeks, and we find out what's going on in each other's markets and what's going and what's hot and what's not.
Yeah, so we've had this, April's been quite a month of contrast really across the offices. We've got offices East Coast, USA, Sweden, Spain and the UK, with headquarters here in Leamington. There's some general trends across through these different territories and the international market generally, but there's also some local market movements which we're monitoring carefully. And so the sailing season is here, and wherever you're broking yachts, there's increasing levels of activity, both on the market and on the water. As we start the yachting season, boats go in the water, anti-fouling, etc., and start the season.
Yeah, I think we were definitely slightly concerned at the start of the season because it did feel like it was getting off to a very slow start. The Med was quiet. I think by virtue of the fact that we had the wettest February on record didn't help. So
yeah, I don't think it stopped raining for 3 months.
No, so it did feel unusually quiet, even after Dusseldorf, which usually I always think kicks things off in our market. It was a bit quiet, but actually since then it has definitely picked up. There are both, I think one of we did notice at the general inquiry level across the board lower, but then the people that you are talking to, those targeted inquiries, they're quite focused and they want to buy boats. They're always buyers. People have plans to make, plans to carry out, and the one thing they can't buy is time. So, I don't think the market will ever flatline because there's always someone out there that needs to buy a boat. There's always someone who wants to move their boat on to a new home.
Yeah, I agree. I think we get a higher quality of inquiry, and what we mean by that is the conversion of inquiry into sales. Now, of course, in better years when inquiry rate increases, a lot of the inquiries are people just researching for the future, which is very sensible. But the conversion rate goes down because there's a higher volume of inquiry. But that's what we're seeing at the moment, I think, is there's less sort of research into the future, I guess. Mm-hmm. We can say that. But what we're seeing is the production yachts in the 40 to 60 foot segment. They're a bit sticky as buyers seem to be positioning themselves, waiting for the price falls and just waiting a bit for next year really, and waiting for the autumn, even though now the season's upon us. Now they're looking for next year and the winter.
Yeah, I think if you're in that more production orientated market, you're in a slightly more crowded marketplace.
Yeah, the high volume marketplace.
And that is definitely that's definitely where it comes down to competition, and it's not about the individual boat anymore. It's definitely a tougher marketplace.
It is, and what we see is, as always, really, boats that are in great condition and priced well and in a sensible location are the ones that will sell. And price, unfortunately, is always the dominating factor on these things.
So we were holding off. I've just returned from the Palma Boat Show. We wanted to see how that was going to go because we thought that would be quite a good barometer for the market in general. So having returned to that, the general feeling with larger yachts, we're seeing lower levels of inquiry, but targeted as well though. So it's back to that same thing of the general inquiry rate is lower, but those people that are inquiring are focused. They're looking at what's available, and the targeted inquiries definitely are leading to sales. But general footfall is down. We didn't see the same numbers of people over the boats at Palma. But definitely fewer people out window shopping, as it were.
Yeah, well, I think it's easy to think Palma's feel a bit down about not having huge volume of people over the boats in Palma. But what we, as an industry, use Palma for really is to show other brokers the boats, and it's a good networking event for brokers to get them on board, feet on the deck, who then will go to their clients later on in the year, and that old question, have you seen the boat? They can all say yes, and it's well worth.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Just a quick pause in the conversation. Each year, Berthon publishes a market report reviewing yacht sales across the previous 12 months and looking ahead to the trends shaping the market. It's based on real transactions and conversations across our international brokerage network, so it gives a clear view of what's actually happening, rather than just sentiment. You can find the latest report on the Berthon website. Thank you, and let's carry on. Doing it for that, I think.
And I think actually just in terms of what was actually there at the show, it was a good show. There was something really nice, quite a spread from multi-hull through to modern classic to sort of more conventional large blue water cruising yachts. There was some really nice boats actually. It was good from that perspective, just as you say, see around, and it gives you an opportunity to pop on to other things.
What do you think, Murphy?
In some territories, this is interesting actually, because what we are seeing actually is strength within local markets. In some markets, in some of our territories like Sweden, yachts are coming to the market, selling readily. The market is quite liquid. Elsewhere in Europe, there are fewer yachts coming to the market as owners take the decision to use them for the season, delaying to sell, and maybe having invested in a spring fit-out. But I think that what that tells us is that local grassroots sailing, as it were, is alive and kicking. And I think that was especially true in Northern Europe and actually here in the UK as well. Throughout the spring, we've seen a great turnover in what I would call good quality, those good quality offshore blue water cruisers that are equally at home plying up and down the West Country as they are going further afield. Your HRs, Swans, Discos, etc. have done incredibly well.
Absolutely. And the New York sale, I don't think it's any secret that New York sales are quiet and have been for a while. But I personally, with the Pegasus, I'm seeing a little bit more interest now, and we've got one in contract now. How's the Solaris going on the new boat front?
Well, I think, the new boats, goodness me, we enjoyed that sort of, those couple of years. People keep referring to COVID. It's terrible. I feel guilty doing so, but it is true. There was that sort of post-COVID bounce for a couple of seasons. The market was very buoyant and quality marks were selling really well. Solaris yachts, we did phenomenally well over the last couple of years. And then, of course, you'd almost expect it, the inquiry level and the market leveled out a little bit and slowed down. And I think, yes, through the autumn of 25 and the initial part of the winter of 26 there, It felt like we were getting off to a slow start, but actually, some of the inquiries I had there at Palma Boat Show were very live. We're going through specs. We're talking about, individual specifications for owners. So it feels to me that there is a bit of traction there now. So I was a little bit more buoyant.
Yes, yeah, and I think we're seeing generally that the current brokerage sales are reflecting that high quality yachts are attracting the most interest. It's also very important, to price correctly, and they do continue to sell at sensible levels of, like you say, the blue water quality brigade of the Discoveries, Oysters, Harbour Grasses, etc.
I know we say it time and time again, but actually there's always a market for those well-presented quality marks that represent good value. People with that slightly older, better idea of buying, and it'll continue. It'll always be so, because I think regardless of what markets are doing, whether they're up or they're down, people have plans made. They want to get on with those plans, and that market will continue to move ahead quite happily. So I think, in summary, that's our little overview of insights for the month of April. Definitely a little bit more activity starting to kick off in the Mediterranean. Our local market here is pretty good. Northern Europe is definitely forging ahead quite happily as well.
Scandinavia seems to be very busy.
So yeah, absolutely. It's been. I think it hopefully bodes well for the coming months.
Yeah, well, I hope you've enjoyed listening to us whittering on, and in May there'll be another update, and that'll be by one of our colleagues. I don't know who's on the roster, but needless to say, later on in the year you'll hear from us again.
And thank you for listening.
Click and subscribe and all that stuff.
Before we wrap up, just a quick note. If anything we're discussing in this episode is relevant to you, whether you're buying or selling, the Berthon team is always available to talk things through. With offices across the UK, Europe and the US, we're able to give a clear view of what's actually happening in the market. You can find out more via the Berthon website. Good to have you with us, and we'll see you next time.